everyone, and welcome back to the Hazardous Artist Series, Episode 6, Christmas Madness in July. But in August, the finale! That's right, guys. This is the final episode to my mother's annual Christmas commission. Is anyone else just as excited about it as I am? And not just because it's the last episode of this particular series, after 6 episodes. I'm actually excited because you get to see how we went from episode 1 to episode 6 to show how all these layers came together to give you the final product. And I just, whoa, the shudders, you guys. I got goosebumps just thinking about showing you how this all came out. So the final product is at the end of the video, so stay tuned, stick around till the end to find out what it looks like. If you guys are interested in the process of my arts, in the shading, the highlighting, and the base colors, head on over to the Hazardous Artist Series Episode 1, where all your needs are met. But artist viewer discretion is advised, as it gets a little sketchy. So, that was so stupid. So, you guys, this episode is actually dedicated to my mother, and it is actually a fitting end to show how much, A, that I love my mom, and B, how much I appreciate the support she has given me my entire life. So, my mom is this chill, laid-back person who's no chill. My mom's a teacher's assistant, and she loves all her kids. All her kids. All her kids at school, all her kids at home, and all her kids that, we're friends with, my brothers and I. So she's got this huge family. And she's mama bear when it comes to that. She is the type of person that if there's someone standing behind her and a guy came up with a gun, she'd stand in their face and look them dead in the eye and go, "Do it, I dare you," in the most sinister voice ever. So my mom is pretty laid back until, you make her angry. She turns into the She-Hulk, and you better prepare your will. That's all I have to say about that. So, I actually have a funny yet great example of how supportive my mom actually is. And I say funny because the family thinks it's funny now. It's been, oh gosh, how old am I? 17 years ago? About. So, we had 17 years to, reflect on this funny thing that happened back in the day. So, when I was younger, my brothers and I say my brothers, it's mainly, my older brother and my younger brother, we would be into photographing wildlife. We were super into animals. Steve Irwin was like our role model. And one of the things my brother was super into, my older brother, he was into the field of herpetology, which is the study of reptiles and amphibians. And so we would go out to various parks and forests and other different places to look for, snakes and frogs, birds, mammals, it didn't matter, and photograph them. And my mom would go with us occasionally. She stopped going after we got older because, she doesn't have to chaperone and babysit us at that point. So we would go out to these parks. And my mom went with us one day, and we went down to a swamp down south, about 3 hours. And my mom had to go because I don't remember what my dad was doing that day. I think he was at work, question mark. But my mom went with us because the only other person who had any form of driving experience was my older brother, and he only had a permit. So, my mom had to come with us. So, we're at this swamp, cruising along on this gravel road, going 5 miles an hour, which was okay. Because wildlife would cross the road from the swamp to the other side, and we'd see crawfish and snakes and frogs, turtles, whatever. You name it, it was crossing the road. And we would stop, get photographs, make sure they were safe, or we drove in a way that we didn't harm the animal. So, one part of this trip, we stopped. My brother says, "We should look around. I want to look around here." And my mom and I and everyone else in the car. Basically, we just sat there and we went, okay, yeah, let's go look around. And so we got out of the van and we started looking around, being all, ha ha ha, ha, look at all the frogs. And my mom, she turned to us and said, watch your step. And I'm not exaggerating, you guys, when I say not 10 seconds later, my mother fell. And she didn't fall like, into the nice soft pile of leaves. Oh no, my mother slipped, broke her ankle, and fell. So, and, a tree caught her, which we joke about to this day. So, 12-year-old me is staring, going, this isn't happening. This is actually happening. Oh my goodness. And, panicking a little because I don't know what 12-year-old me is going to do about this. So my mom instructed my older brothers to, get a stint ready and we would go back to the van and try to get to the hospital. So we get my mom hopping along back to the van and, I'm just walking along, like, not sure what to do, just probably uncomfortable with the situation, only because I didn't know what to do. We got to the van, and the most unusual thing happened. A sheriff was driving down. So, the part of the swamp we were at is not, it's not traveled down by a lot of law enforcement. So seeing a law enforcement official come down this road was a miracle in of itself. And right at the moment when my mom had fallen and broke her ankle, so it was pretty amazing. So we explained the situation to the officer, who then escorted us to the nearest hospital, which was about 35 minutes away. So we get we finally get to the hospital. My mom has to go in for x-rays and such. We got to figure out what broke, because we obviously something broke. We heard it break. And I can't remember if I brought my Game Boy with me, because I didn't have a phone. Because back in that day, I think the newest model of flip phone was a Motorola Razor. I'm not entirely sure what year that one came out, but flip phones were all the craze, actually. And so after an hour or two, my mom came out, and she's in crutches. I can't remember if she was in a cast or a boot, but she lets us know that, her bone actually broke. Not fractured, broke. So we're just, we look on horrified, like, oh no. And we get my mom, we get my mother back to the car, and we try to get her comfortable and everything, because we don't want her in pain. Even though my mom didn't scream, she didn't whine, she didn't complain about any of the pain she was experiencing. Or if she did, I don't remember, but I don't think she ever complained or whined or screamed about the pain. She was a trooper that day. And so when we got back in the car, we were still in the parking lot. My older brother was driving, and he looks at my mom, and my mom looks back at him, and they share this knowing glance. And I say a knowing glance because it was like a nonverbal conversation that was sitting there for 3 minutes. So eventually my mom caves into this nonverbal agreement, and says, if you want to go back to the swamp to look for more snakes or frogs or whatever, then let's go back. We still have daylight. We're already here, so we might as well. And my brother drove back, and we enjoyed the remainder of the day at the swamp looking for snakes and frogs and the like. While my mom sat, probably bored out of her mind, in the car or the van. So that is honestly the greatest example I have of how supportive my mom is and how dedicated she is as a mother to keep us happy. Because I'm pretty sure, because I can't fathom it, but I'm pretty sure she was in a ton of pain. And I can't remember if the doctors at the hospital gave her anything. And I can't remember if we ever went to a pharmacy to ever get it, filled or anything, because we were 3 hours south of home. So my mom probably went through the remainder of that day in a lot of pain and didn't say anything about it. And that is real dedication to your children there. But my mom is also funny, because after 17 years, we still joke about it. We even cracked a joke that she probably slipped on a walnut, and that was what the snap was heard from. And we all joke about it. My mom was the first one, by the way, if you guys are wondering. She was the first one to make that walnut joke. None of us kids did. So you can't attack me for that. I don't know. But my mom is pretty, my mom is funny. My brother has, like, the aptitude to be a comedian, and I'm pretty sure he gets those genes from my mom's side of the family. But my mom is just, she doesn't take any I can't say the word because it's not exactly a good word to say. But to those who are watching this, you know what I'm saying. She doesn't take any about anything. So when we go shopping, clothes shopping to be particular, you can't lie to her because she'll know. She'll absolutely know. She can read you like a book. So if you lie, you're there longer. And I caught on to that, so I started telling her the truth. But being me and the wonderful, horrible comedian that I am around my mother, I proceed, whatever. So I would always not be sweet and kind about it, She would pull out this floral print 1970s blouse or something, and I'd stare at it, and instead of saying, no, Mom, I really don't like that, I'd say, are you nuts? That is hideous! I can't believe you would pull that off the rack for me. And she'd give me this glare and go, fine, I didn't want you to wear it anyway. And you guys, we are coming to a close on this video. I'm just doing a little bit more details on the tree, and I'll be doing more details on the ornaments themselves, but this is really where the video ends. Here is the final product of this video, as you can totally tell, this is the final product, as I'm adding glow features to the ornaments that I have. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to this kind of stuff, and not because I am actually lazy, but more because I actually like this kind of art style that I have for this. But with that, you guys, the video does have to come to an end, and I did have more stories, but I could go all day talking about the stories that I have about my mother, and we would be here for more than 3 hours. So I really hope that you enjoyed this episode series of my mother's annual commission, and I'll see you guys next week with a whole new art piece to go through. But until then, you guys, dare to create. And like, comment, and share, because I totally forgot to say that. This has been a really off day for me, so bye guys, yeah. You cannot lie to my mother, because she will intentionally go down every single aisle just to prove it.